Hey guys, Andrew Seyfried here. I am super excited because you have tuned into this video series and you are entering the very first of 15 videos on how to build relationships with your kids. So I want to tell you a story. My dad, the great guy that he is, I remember being 5 years old and him coming and playing with my brother and I at this creek bed that we had behind our house. I remember on that day my brother and I were riding down, not very well mind you, down the creek embankment because it was dry and dusty, but it was like a slide to us. And so we were sliding down this into the about 1 foot of water because a lot of the water had been dried up there. So my dad, I remember walking over, carrying a hose, and had on those brand new blue shorts that he had just gotten, that his wife had actually just gotten for him, my mother. And I remember him walking over, putting that water down and creating a mud and water slide. And I remember he picked me up in his arms and he looked at me and he said, "Son, you know I'm going to get in trouble for this. I just got these shorts, but let's do it." And I remember sitting there thinking, my dad's going to get in trouble? How can dad get in trouble? But he put me on his lap and we started sliding down, and we had one of the best days of my entire life with my dad that day. I still remember we kept going down and up and down all day long on that. At least it felt like that for me, on that mud and water slide that my dad had created for me and my brother. It was such a great day. So I want to draw your attention to 3 things that my dad did that day. He might not have known it, but the first thing that he did is he came over and he engaged in my game. He engaged in my activity. He didn't come over there and say, "Son, this isn't what we're going to do. We're going to do this over here. Come over here and do this thing with me. Or come over and do this with me." You see, a lot of times us parents, we want to tell the kids what to do. Us teachers, we want to say, "Come over here and do this with me." Don't do that. Take some time today and play a game that your kids want to play. Play a game that they are already engaged in. Then you're going to enter their world and they know that they matter. The second thing my dad did is he picked me up and he told me his hesitation, which means he shared his thoughts and his heart about the situation. You know what? Some dads might not feel comfortable playing tea party with their kids. Some moms might not feel comfortable shooting up bad guys. You know what? That's okay if you're not comfortable. Tell your kids that. But then do it anyway. So you get down there and you tell that little girl that she is a princess and you drink that teacup with her. And you can even share that, "I feel a little bit awkward here, but I'm going to do it." You see, my dad was going to get in trouble because those were brand new shorts and he did not want to face my mother after ruining them. However, he didn't let that stop him. You see, that made me feel so much more important than even those shorts. I didn't know why, but I knew that I mattered more than they did. And your kids matter more than your hesitation. The third thing my dad did is he had some positive physical touch. Now, I do have an entire video on why positive physical touch is important for building relationships. But it really applies right here in playing with your kids. Whether you give a high five or a handshake, or if you pick them up, if you have the opportunity, you need to take advantage of it. Now, I do say this, I do put a little star on this. You have to be careful, you have to be cautious in the way that you touch other kids, especially nowadays. So, what you need to do is make sure that you either have parents' permission if you're going to do something like, hugs and handshakes, and even, I get my kids sometimes and I ride them around like they're a horse and they're rocking on my back, and we have a good time, but I do have a good relationship with their parents and they understand that physical touch is okay, and I'm okay with them whether they tell me yes or no. So if that is the case, then you just need to be whatever it is that those kids are comfortable with and their parents are comfortable with, but you have to make sure you have some positive physical touch. So, in summary, use these 3 tools in the way that you play with your kids. Make sure that you engage with them on the games and activities that they want to do. Make sure that you share with them any thoughts or hesitation, but you don't let it stop you. And then the third thing, make sure that you have some sort of positive physical touch while you're playing with those kids. And when you do, you're going to build that relationship and it will blossom. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out the other 14 videos. Like, comment, share, and subscribe today so that you can keep getting these and others like it to be blessed.